Breaking news! A new episode of Let's Be Frank starting now!
Hello all! Welcome to the first episode in this new little mini-series I'm doing, Tales from Japan. I'm very excited to tell you guys some stories from my and Katrina's honeymoon to Japan. If you want more information on where this idea came from or why I'm talking about my honeymoon in this sort of format, make sure you go watch this short where I kind of explain everything. But without further ado, I'm just going to go ahead and start talking about all the different animal cafes Katrina and I went to. The first one we found ourselves at was a reptile cafe. Katrina absolutely loves lizards and all things reptile. Snakes she likes, but probably wouldn't own. Regardless, this cafe had everything from bearded dragons to all different kinds of geckos and iguanas, and there was even a tegu just free roaming around the floor. It was really cool. And all you had to do was ask, and you could pet or hold any one of these lizards. They were all great. There's so many of them were so calm in your hands. They just wanted to be pet. Check out this monitor lizard. He wanted out of that tank so badly. He just needed some love. Katrina absolutely adored this cafe. I liked it for sure, but let's just say, in my opinion, the best cafes were yet to come. Speaking of which, let's move on to the next cafe. Immediately after the reptile cafe, Katrina and I made our way to one of my all-time favorite cafes, a cat cafe. Luckily, it was super close by and we didn't even have to walk very far to reach it. The majority of these cats were super friendly and just wanting to be pet while they slept, you know. There were others that tended to stay away from people, but if you managed to get close to them, they'd give you some love. And then there were a couple of cats that they were like, hey, listen, you can try with this guy, but he may swipe at your hand, so be careful. All in all, I love the cat cafe. I've always enjoyed cat cafes because cats are some of my all-time favorite animals. But there are many more unique cafes that we went to after this one. The next cafe we went to was a few days later after we left Tokyo and made our way to Kyoto. This cafe was a mini pig cafe, and it honestly had to probably be my favorite of the entire trip because there were so many of these little pigs, and their one and only goal in life was to populate your lap so they could sleep. That was it. No matter who was in there, no matter how many pigs were all simultaneously trying to sleep on your lap, they would just dive in head first. Sometimes they'd even kind of fight with each other if they thought another pig was trying to enclose upon their space, their plot of land in your lap. It was adorable. All the pigs were so cute, and have you ever pet a pig? They've got such a unique texture and feeling to them. It was wonderful. I honestly could have spent another couple hours in there. I think Katrina and I only paid for a half an hour, but man, going to a mini pig cafe is something I definitely want to do again in the future. S-tier experience. Definitely go if you get the chance. So if this last cafe was my favorite, this next one was definitely the most unique. It was an owl cafe. Katrina and I were kind of taken aback. Every cafe we'd been to thus far, it was all about holding the creatures and petting them and everything, but owls didn't seem as likely to do that, and that was definitely the case. In the owl cafe, you don't sit down and wait for the owls to fly into your lap or anything. All of the owls are on their own little perch, and you get to go around and admire each and every one of them. Some owls had signs next to them that said, please don't pet me right now, I am on break, or something like that. But the majority of owls were very sweet, to be honest. They'd all just kind of let you pet their heads or their backs, and they were not too bad. Some owls, you could definitely tell they were like, all right, I've been touched enough today, I'm done. And they had so many different kinds of owls. Some I had never seen before, some I'd always wanted to see up close, like snowy owls or great horned owls. It was, again, the most unique cafe we'd been to thus far. And honestly, once again, I would highly recommend this cafe to anybody who happens to be in Kyoto. And finally, we're going back to basics for this next cafe. Well, kind of. Because the next cafe we went to was indeed another cat cafe, but specifically a Bengal cat cafe. These cats are a bit more wild and not nearly as calm. You could get them to lay in your laps if you got, the right cat to come up to you. But for the most part, these cats were jumping all over the makeshift tree foresty environment that they were given. They definitely preferred the female patrons. I tried to get one of these cats to sit on my lap, but it just wasn't happening. Katrina thankfully got some in her laps, and all the other female patrons had some in theirs. But all in all, I honestly barely got to touch a cat in this cafe. It was very enjoyable to watch them jump around and everything, but such a strange experience that they just preferred women. Regardless, I would still say this was a very unique cafe, and I'm looking forward to doing all kinds of different ones in the future. Well, that's it for this video, guys. Thank you all so very much for watching. This is a very experimental new series I'm doing, so if you enjoyed this video in this format of just kind of talking about adventures with you guys, please give this video a like. It's going to help so much, and let me know what you guys want to see. Make sure you subscribe for more. Follow my Instagram and Facebook, Let's Be Frank 2020, and subscribe to Jokum and I's podcast on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. It's a Pokemon podcast, so if you like Pokemon, I'm almost positive you'd enjoy it. But with all that being said, once again, thank you so very much for watching. And until next time.